Hello, Wichita Falls. I'm Debbie Dobbins, and oh shit, this isn't Wichita Falls, is it? All right, listen, I'm a baby boomer, and I'm 70 years old, and I reached that magical age where I walk into a room, and I don't know how the fuck I got here. So I don't know how I got here tonight, other than I was at Podfest a month ago, and there was an open mic night. I have never done stand-up before that in my life. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of grace because I'm not telling jokes. I'm very conversational when it comes to whatever this is. I don't have any idea what I am doing. So we'll just go with it, roll with it. And I want to talk about the fact that I am a baby boomer and I'm 70 years old and I'm as old as Barbie. Now, I've followed Barbie since I was a little girl. And so I'm not like all the other women. I'm not old like people and I'm not like other women. I have never been married. I don't have kids. I have my own Barbie house, I have my own Barbie car, and I like to play with Ken dolls. So I want to tell you a little story about Barbie because most people don't know this, that they came up with the Ken doll 2 years after they came up with Barbie because all the little girls said they wanted a boy doll. So I think that's really interesting. But the biggest conversation during that promotion for this Ken doll was, what are they going to do with this genitalia? Because if you know anything about Barbies, I don't know if the guys have ever played with Barbies. Some of them have. I know that there's a whole group out there. But the fact is that she's just flat right here. Like there's no genitalia. So they were worried about what they were going to do with the Ken doll, how we're going to do this genitalia. So they had three options. They brought in a big marketer. They brought this guy in, and he said, well, we can do the same thing we did with Barbie. So there's genderless. Or we can do a little bump. So how many of you girls have fallen for that little bump and you found out it really wasn't there? So there was that option. Then they came up with that third option, and that was we're going to paint underwear on there. And they decided that's probably not a good idea because those little girls are going to say, what's underneath the underwear? And we also have been very disappointed when we start digging around in that underwear. So here's the thing, is I'm going to share with you that they chose the flat one because it was less money. So once again, he lost his penis because of money. Now, I want to talk about the fact that women are invisible when we get old. But the thing is, this is our superpower, and this is how we sneak in and do things that they don't expect us to do. So I've been accused of being frail, which I go to the gym all the time, so I surprise people with that. I've also been accused of not paying attention because I frankly don't give a shit. But the fact is that most of the time I'm there doing the things that I can do as a woman because I teach feminine energy. And what you also don't know is in 10 years, 1/3 of the population is going to be over 65. So all I know is that us over 65, that's baby boomers and Gen Xers, are going to take over the world. And I love, if you've ever been to Wichita Falls or you read an article about it, there was a woman that was racing around in the scooter drinking wine out of a Pringles can. So I imagine all of us old people, because we're going to take over, we're going to actually be fit, and nobody's going to kick us out because they don't have any ability to do that. The one thing that I didn't do with Barbie, and that was crack addict Barbie. I was a crack addict. My gateway drug was chocolate chips. And once I knew that chocolate chips were not doing it anymore, I moved to marijuana because I grew up in the 70s, Woodstock and all. And then what I realized is that you smoke pot, and then you eat. And then you come down, and then you smoke some more, and then you eat some more. So I got fat. I said, Jesus, I really need a drug that I'm not going to get fat on. Now it's the 80s, so cocaine, why not? So I started using crack, which was really, really exciting, but unfortunately crack gave me rectal cancer. So, I know, it's a story. I had rectal cancer, I was diagnosed, and they decided that they were going to take my rectum. Now, I didn't really agree with that program, but once I had to go into emergency surgery. And when I went into emergency surgery, when they started the radiation, I woke up and there was this fun little thing on my belly. So I don't know if you've ever known anybody that has an ostomy bag. They're not the most enjoyable thing on the planet. What it is it just collects your poop right there. And so you're walking around 24/7 with poop on your belly. I mean, I know it's not coming out. But the thing was I really, truly could not deal with the fact that I wanted to have this ostomy bag on my belly for the rest of my life. So I had to have an argument with the medical community, and they kept advising me that you need to have this bag because we're going to take your rectum away. I said, okay, no. So it was kind of like getting married. I didn't buy into that program. I just decided that this is not what was going to happen for me. So my surgeon decided that that was okay, and they kept trying to tell me that all these people just live with these ostomy bags, and it's fabulous, and you're going to be fine, and you can even wear a bikini. I went home and Googled bikinis with ostomy bags. If you don't have anything later to do, go and look that up. It's not a pretty sight. But I want to explain to you what a rectum does, because it's an anatomy lesson. Most people don't understand what your rectum does. And I don't know if you live in a town that has a transfer station. I live in Wichita Falls. We have a transfer station, which is where you take your trash to the big truck takes it to the dump. So a bunch of people bring their trash, and then the truck takes it to the dump. So a transfer station is basically your rectum. So I don't have a rectum. I don't have a transfer station any longer. So now it's all express delivery. And sometimes it's Amazon Prime, 2-hour delivery, and it comes when it's not supposed to. So you figure that out for yourself. But here's the thing, is I love social media, not. And I'm an addict, and so there's a lawsuit going on right now with social media. They're suing Facebook, or Meta, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So I think that's really interesting, because about time somebody sued them. I don't know if any of you on TikTok. Yeah, so that's not addictive at all. I can't go on social media because it's not enjoyable to me, but I do like TikTok where, they're dancing Gangnam Style or the dogs are dancing. And I think, well, how many times can you watch a video like that? But the fact is that TikTok was the one smart company in that whole lawsuit. They settled out of court because, if they got TikTok in front of a jury, they would have probably put them in jail. But I love TikTok just because it's got some fun videos on it. The one thing I'm not really crazy about is these girls are now doing this thing called glow up on TikTok. So if you go on TikTok, you can see them going on there, please tell me how I look better. And I think, well, get some self-esteem and that will really help. But the fact is that most of the people that go on TikTok are just looking for validation. And I'm starting to do that now because I gained about 20 pounds probably in the last 3 months. I don't know what was going on. Maybe I was just hibernating for the winter. So I've decided that I just really don't like this belly roll anymore. And I love Gabriel Iglesias. Anybody know him? He's a comedian. He goes by Fluffy. I love that idea that men always talk about themselves, that they are fluffy or big. And women, we just get old and fat. So I'm old and fat right now, which is fine with me. And yet, there is such a gradation that Gabriel does with fat. And my favorite one is, you're walking through the Walmart in the frozen food department, and you go, I'm having a senior moment. I'm looking down at the carpet now to try to remember what I was going to say. You go, damn! And that's because I'm looking at the cart, and they've got Hot Pockets and everything else in that thing from the freezer department. And I think, do they not know? Oh, look at your cart. I've got Cheetos, I've got potato chips, I've got cheesecake. So when we have whatever that is in the basket, it's going to go on your ass. But I love the idea that I can now actually eat and have my body take care of itself the way that God intended it, because I never kept that ostomy bag, and I knew that I wasn't going to have it. One day when I was in 24-hour fitness, I love yoga, and yoga saved my life when I was going through cancer. And I don't know if you've ever done yoga, but there's a pose. It's not down dog, which everybody's familiar with. It's up dog. So you're basically laying on your belly and you're pushing up from your shoulders. And as you push up, you're pushing on this lovely bag. So I did have that experience in 24-hour fitness. And I decided when that happened, and all you can remember or think of is Hot Pockets on the floor. And that's when I decided I wasn't going to have an ostomy bag. Thank you very much.